Welcome back to Politics Made OK. I'm happy to report the last 7 days have been accident-free. Yeah, I'm still looking a little worse for wear, but they'll sort itself out. But in other big, enormous, huge news, Australia has finally committed to net zero by 2050. Now this is the part where I'd normally break things down. You know, look at a comprehensive plan and modelling and go into all the detail. But the fact is, the government hasn't given us any of that. That's right. The government said that we're going to get to this target, a target we've been avoiding for the last 2 decades, with all this stuff that we're like already doing. So, yeah. The biggest news of Australian politics in the 21st century, and I've shoved it into the first 20 seconds of the episode. So, what now? Well, because of the government's non-plan on climate change, I'm going to take you through something else that happened this week, and that is Senate estimates. Now, it might sound a bit meh to you, but it has taken up 50 hours of the last 4 days of my life. And so you're going to listen, and you're going to learn, and you're going to like it. Yep, just another episode of me threatening you into loving the show. Welcome back to PMO. So, Senate estimates. What are they? And why have they given me a perpetual eye twitch this week? Well, the official definition is that they are estimates of government expenditure that are referred to Senate committees as part of the annual budget cycle. And the human definition is that it's a week of political people asking other political people, where's the money going? Or in other words, show me the money! But why should you care? Because it's your money. That's right, yes, hello, you, the taxpayer. And you should be aware that the money you're paying in tax is going towards things like, oh, I don't know, the legal fees of an ABC journalist being sued by politicians. Or how $13 million of taxpayer money is being put towards an advertising campaign on what the government's doing against climate change. And that's even before they committed to net zero by 2050. As journalists, we watch these estimates. There's about 4 going on at any given time, and we do that from 9 AM to 11 PM. Yeah, my eye twitch kind of makes sense now, right? Also, we can message senators questions that we'd actually like answered, and often they'll put them to the heads of departments and ministers. Yep, it's accountability at its finest. Except for this.
You'd have to take that on notice.
I haven't got the cost of the investigation. I'll have to take that on notice.
I think I'll have to take that on, not to my knowledge, but I'll have to take that on notice, Senator.
Sure, can we take that one on notice? We don't have...
I'd have to take that on notice, Senator.
Yeah, it turns out if you're a politician or a public servant, you don't actually have to answer any questions. You can just say that you'll take it on notice and then let these huge departments send back a one-line response somewhere way, way into the future. Like I said, accountability at its finest. But enough with the cynicism, I'm going to take you through the best of estimates this week. That's right, welcome to my very own version of 20 to 1. Except rather than a countdown of 20, it's 6. And rather than pop culture, it's politics. Yeah, strap in. Coming in at number 6, we have Labor Senator Penny Wong being, well, Penny Wong. And by that, I mean terrifying. The woman is terrifying.
Are you saying they're on schedule in WA?
At this point, Senator.
Really?
Oh God, I feel like I'm in so much trouble just watching that. That's the look of, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. It's the look of, where have you been all night? It's the look of, you and I are going to have a talk about this YouTube episode. Ugh, sorry, Penny. Coming in at number 5, we have 71-year-old Liberal Senator Jim Molan asking this question of the nation's top spy.
White supremacist, nationalist, racist views. It can include involuntary celibate. It can include groups...
And what was that?
Involuntary celibate, people who... It's kind of incel is the name, but actually how... It kind of defies logic, but actually it means something to some individuals.
Oh dear Lord. You gotta love how ASIO director Mike Burgess just can't really make eye contact. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, so involuntary celibate, involuntary, that's, you know, don't mean to, and celibate, you know, it's where you don't, it's not logical, it's just you don't really, you know, you can't, and just a little tip for those of you that do need an explainer about what an incel is, Jim Molan. Incel used to refer to a group of geeky nerds who just weren't really getting any. Get it? Like involuntary celibate. But now it's increasingly referring to a group of men on the right, all into like men's rights and blaming women for their sexless lives and everything else wrong with the world. Oh, it's weird to think everything bad out there is my fault. So much power. Coming in at number 4, we have the moment where the Chief of Air Force was asked by Green Senator Peter Whish-Wilson if UFOs exist.
It sounds like you're going to ask questions about UFOs.
Well, we'd be very interesting to hear your views on this. It basically talks about UAPs as being something that the US Department of Defence is taking seriously. Could I ask whether the Australian Air Force or the Australian military also has any task force looking at UAPs?
To be clear, UAP stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, not the United Australia Party, which is led by this guy. That would almost make more sense though.
Could I ask whether the Australian Air Force or the Australian military also has any task force looking at UAPs?
Coming in at number 3, it's the moment Independent Senator Rex Patrick realised he's asking questions of a public servant who he's taking to court.
I hate to do this, but I do have to declare, Chair, that I'm in litigation with Mr Fricker as well, in the AAT on a FOI matter. So,
We just assume you're litigating against most of us.
if it's to do with access to information, you can assume I'm litigating someone.
I love how Liberal Senator Matt Stoker is just like, yeah, he's taken us all to court. And fair enough. The man has like 25 active litigations going. That's more than some law firms. Yeah, Rex really loves a Barney. Coming in at number 2, it's National Senator Bridget McKenzie pretending she's Brad Pitt.
Are you going to fund a new coal-fired power station?
The first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club.
Well, your government certainly is a fight club. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, this is a government minister's way of not divulging the negotiations between the Nationals and the Liberals to get to that net zero by 2050 target. I mean, it's a totally normal response to questions like, what did the modelling show?
The first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club.
And to the question of government transparency?
The first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, that's just, that's great. And just like that, we're at the top moment of Senate estimates this week. And that is the moment that a head of department winked at a minister. Winked! Like, with her eye!
What date were those discussions had?
So they took place, Senator, between the 15th and the 19th of September.
I can't. I mean, this is Stephanie Foster. She's the Secretary of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet, but seriously is like one of the nicest, most softly spoken, mild-mannered public servants that I know. And like, her answer isn't juicy at all. It's information she's very happy to give. She's just like, yep, those discussions took place on the 15th to the 19th of September. Got him. Or maybe this is the new form of government accountability. Because public servants like Foster really need to toe the government line. But perhaps if something's like not true, this is what they're going to do from now on. Imagine how that would go. Like, so did the government fund projects in marginal seats? No, absolutely not. What was that? Nothing. I'm just telling you they absolutely did not fund projects only in marginal seats. So they did. No. I definitely wouldn't say that. Yeah, maybe Senate estimates next time could be less talking and more Morse code of the eyes. Anyway, that brings us to the end of Politics Made OK. What moment of estimates this week was your favourite? Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, read my yarns, listen to my podcast this week, Bubble Pop on Spotify, and I'll catch you next time on PMO. That's just the Twitch. I need to get some sleep.